If you want to find out about the very best golf courses in Australia, you've come to the right place, because in this video we're going to go through the top 10 golf courses in Australia as voted by Australian Golf Digest in their 2021-22 course rankings. Coming in at number 10 is the only entry from South Australia, and it's Royal Adelaide Golf Club. Certainly the most fascinating feature of playing at Royal Adelaide is that there's a train which cuts between the course. It runs right up alongside the clubhouse and goes between the first and second holes. The rest of the course, well, it's pretty wide open. It doesn't really dictate to you off the tee where to go. There's a lot of different ways you can play the holes. It has a little bit of a sandbelt feel in places, and it's certainly a course that's accustomed to holding big tournaments. Most recently, the Women's Australian Open, including in 2020, which was won by Inbee Park. At number 9, we head to the Melbourne Sandbelt with Victoria Golf Club. It's located beautifully across the road from Royal Melbourne, and this year, in fact, will co-host the Australian Open in the first year that it's become a mixed men's and women's event. The course itself, well, it's classic sandbelt, amazing bunkering throughout. It's recently undergone a renovation by OCM. Its greens in particular have changed grass. They're now pure distinction and they roll magnificently. In at number 8, it's Royal Melbourne's East Course. This kind of doesn't get anywhere near the same attention as the West Course does, but the East Course in its own right is a fantastic course. It makes up a fair chunk of the composite course, which is 12 holes from the West Course and 6 from the East. In particular, the start on the East Course is brilliant. The first 4 holes before you cross the first of a series of roads to other properties on the course. And the finish is brilliant as well. 16, what a magnificent par 3. And the grandstand finished the 18th, going past the clubhouse. That's also the final hole on the composite course. We head down to Tasmania for number 7, and it's the Lost Farm course at Barnbougle. You get plenty of bang for your buck when you play Lost Farm. There isn't just 18 holes, there's actually 20. There's a couple of spare par 3s, and this is just a brilliant links golf experience. The dunes throughout are absolutely unbelievable. A few standout holes, the short par 3 4th, which kind of goes right out to a point where the river mouth meets Bass Strait. If you're watching this video, you probably know a fair bit about Barnbougle, but in case you don't, it's really a world-class facility, one of the best in Australia and even the world. It's got 3 courses now. It's got the 2 big courses and recently added a short course called Bougle Run. So no wonder this is a real favourite amongst international visitors as well. In at number 6, the only entry from Sydney, and it's New South Wales Golf Club. Its location right on the coast in the eastern part of Sydney offers breathtaking views of the coastline. The standout holes you can't go past, the par 5 5th, which is steeply downhill with an ocean backdrop to the green, and then the par 3 6th, where you tee off from out on a point of rocks. You hit over this little cove to a green that's about 180 or so metres away. Certainly the views are what make New South Wales special, but there's also some devilish tiny pot bunkers throughout the course to keep you on your toes. At number 5, we head back to the Melbourne Sandbelt with Peninsula Kingswood's North Course. Now this course underwent an extensive revamp which finished in 2018 by the team at OCM. They didn't actually change the routing, but they basically ripped up every hole and created new bunkering, and certainly the greens have come along in leaps and bounds. Like Victoria, these are pure distinction greens. Some of the best you'll ever putt on. The first time I played it in 2018, I reckon it was perhaps the best putting surfaces I'd ever experienced. Plenty of standout holes. The waste areas and bunkering really catches your eye like any course on the sandbelt. And there's a real grandstand finish here. The dogleg left 18th, not a particularly long par 4, but just with the natural amphitheatre behind the green, you really finish off your round in style on the North Course at PK. In at number 4, we go back to Barnbougle on the northern coast of Tasmania for its Dunes course. Now the Dunes at Barnbougle was really the first world-class course to be built on Tasmania. They've since followed after that with not only Lost Farm at Barnbougle, but the 2 courses at King Island as well. But this is where it all started. And the front 9 is probably the better of the 2 9s at the Dunes. The short 4th an absolute ripper. You can hit if you're a long hitter, you can almost hit a 6-iron off the tee, or you can sort of blaze away at the green with a 3-wood. You don't really need a driver if you're a long hitter. The short 7th, another example of how short holes can be much more interesting than longer ones. This is about 110 metres, devilish little green, heavily bunkered on the left, a large swale on the right, and it's not uncommon here to face a 4 or 5 or even 6 club wind. At number 3, we head to King Island in Tasmania's Bass Strait, and it's Cape Wickham Links. Well, this course, it just burst onto the scene in 2015. It got ranked in the top 25 courses in the world by one of the US magazines, and its views, they almost look fake when you come here for the first time. It's that good. You're sort of perched high above the ocean for the first hole, which is a pretty extravagant carry to a fairway slightly down below. The lighthouse, what's a focal point of the course, you can see it just about the whole way round. There are a number of holes that really catch your eye, around the turn especially. The 10th hole going down a short par 4 to a green well down below. 11, a short par 3 over rocks to a green. 12, a very short dogleg left par 4, one that you can easily reach with driver, but there's almost no percentage in going for the green because you need to have the wind a certain way. You're better off sort of hitting out to the right with a mid-iron. And then the finish at Cape Wickham is absolutely stunning. It starts at 16 where you head back towards the clubhouse, playing along the rocks to your right. The 17th is just a brilliant par 3, again playing over rocks to a green that's bunkered on the right with a series of pot bunkers. And 18, it really might be one of the greatest finishing holes of any golf course in the world. At number 2, we head to Kingston Heath on the Melbourne Sandbelt, an absolute classic layout. The land itself is actually pretty flat. It means that the course really does have to rely on its design to get the praise that it does, and it's a brilliant design. There's lots of short, interesting holes, short par 4s, short par 3s that make you think your way around the golf course. The bunkering is absolutely sublime throughout. No wonder this course has earned such tremendous praise from Tiger Woods, who won the 2009 Australian Masters right there at Kingston Heath. And number 1, well, this is really the undisputed top golf course in Australia, and it's the West Course at Royal Melbourne. 3 times Royal Melbourne has hosted the President's Cup. It's designed by Alistair McKenzie, who was the mastermind behind a series of great golf courses, including Augusta National and Cypress Point. And Royal Melbourne West, it really makes the golfer think their way around. It's not particularly long, it's only a tick over 6,000 metres from the back tees, but you really have to position your ball off the tee to have the best angle into some of these greens. Royal Melbourne's famous for its greens, and if you play at them from the wrong spot or maybe even too close to a green, you can't sort of get the spin or the flight you need to get close to the hole. And a great way to explain just how good the West Course is at Royal Melbourne, it's one of those courses where you play it dozens upon dozens of times and you never ever get sick of it each time you go out there. So there you have it, that's the top 10 golf courses in Australia as ranked by Australian Golf Digest magazine. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that red button just down below to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all of our latest videos.